The idea of development. Today let us see here what is the meaning of the word idea of development. The word idea of development has various aspects regarding to various people. Development may be different for different people. How do we get the connectivity of the word development here? If different people are, if you see it in the different angles of different people, for example, if you take the idea of a landless labor means development, that he need a better wage, a better package for him, or like getting him a better salary. Daily he need a job, because as he is landless, he may get a job only for 30 days to 60 days or 90 days, maximum for 150 days. The remaining 365 days, so he is having a gap of 200 days where he can't get a job. So he can expect to get a better job or a daily job at least for 200 to 250 days. So when it comes to a prosperous farmer, the farmer will expect him that when he is prosperous, the word itself indicates that he is having everything. So he would expect his children to settle better, and if necessary they would settle them in the abroad and they have a well educated people, and it leads to a better prosperous for his children rather than concentrating on the fields. Even if he concentrates on the fields, he would get the best quality of the seeds and he would try to get the best market for his field output. All these things are the developments for this prosperous farmer. And when it comes to the expectations of the industrialist, an industrialist would expect to have a better well designed dams to get the better electricity facilities and all, where when it comes to the same situation, when it comes to farmers of the small land holdings, they don't expect it to have better or larger dams. They would expect to have a small check dams which will supply water to all the people. So here we can come to idea that the industrialist is expecting a large dams, whereas the farmers of small land holdings are expecting a small dams. It's a contrary to each other. When the industrialist is expecting for large dams, many of the small land holdings of the farmers will be disappeared, and it leads to the empty place for them. But when they are expecting for small land holdings of check dams, it supplies water for them as well as for the industrialists. So the development is different for different people, and it has different aspects for different criterias are there when it comes to different people's perspective. So landless people have their own aims, prosperous farmer he has his own developments, industrialists have their own things, and when it comes to the farmers of small land holdings, they have different things. And sometimes we get to the issue that the things which are development for one particular category or section of people may be different to the other category of the people, or sometimes may be completely opposite to them also. We have seen the development in the different aspects for different people. Now let us coming to whose development. For example, recently the most highlighted issue which happened in Tamil Nadu was the Kundalkulam project, which was located in the place called Tirunelveli in the Tamil Nadu. The central government of India decided to go with a nuclear power plant project located in this region, where it is a coastal region. Because of the tragedy which happened in the Fukushima in Japan, where the nuclear reactors were out of control, which led to a threat to the society and the environment, and it became a big threat for the Japanese people, and it was expected that some radioactive elements were out of the reach, and it is expected the people are in trouble. So the people located in this region expressed the dissatisfaction, and many of the environmentalists and the activists, social activists came forward supporting the fishermen and all the local people, those are living in the Tirunelveli, with the objection of the safety measures. A well-developed country like Japan have the issues of like not able to control it. How can we, the people who are developing country, would be able to control it or not? So the activists have moved it. Then the government came with a stand that we are ready with all the safety measures, and every safety is assured in the Kundalkulam project, and government moved on with the head with starting the project here. Even though we got a larger protest, the Supreme Court has asked for the safety measures to check thoroughly and gave the green signal. Now the central government is moving with the project. Here the issue is we need the nuclear energy, which is an alternative source of energy for us to develop our nation. At the same time, we have to address the issues of the local people, those are living here, and the safety is the most important criteria which should be taken care by the government of the states or the central governments when any issue happens out of it. Let's hope this is done safely and executed safely by the central government. Now let us see the income and the other goals. How do we assess the goals or the income of any person? Like when we get a job opportunity at two different places, let us take two examples. When we got a better job opportunity with less salary, the place which is nearby to our family, and we get a better package at a very place which is very far away from it. How to judge the issues? Like when we get a job opportunity which is very nearby to our family place or within our location, and which is provided even though the salary package is less or the wage what you are going to get is less, but it is provided assured that you get equal treatment, a respect from the colleagues, freedom of your work, security for your work, and there is no discrimination there, then automatically we can choose that job. Even though the next example where we have example B, where you get a better package and where there is no equal treatment for you, where there is no freedom for you, when there is no job security for you, when it's completely opposite to this one, even though you get a better package, like you get a better income, but the other goals which are required for us to be satisfied, if they are not satisfied, we would not like to go to that job, because we at the end of the day, we like to learn something from new jobs. When we go to somewhere where is far away from our place, we would like to learn a new things, or which will be added for your career, or it will be added for an objective of your career. But when it comes to that, where these all are not meted properly, and where you face like lack of freedom, lack of security of your job tenure, and where there is no respect for you in the colleagues, and where there is no proper treatment for you regarding your sex or age or something else, then you can't address the job, or you can't do it perform it better well. So it is better to choose not only the income of anything, but also the other goals has to be attributed. Then only we can see the success in your job or in your career. We are comparing the developments and the different trends, the income and the goals. Let us see how can we say a country is a developed country or a non-developed country, or what are the criteria to say that a country is a developed one. How can we say that a country is developed? Now, how can we determine the country's income and wealth and all these things? Now, when a person is rich, how do we come to know that a person is rich? One basic criteria what we have is the income what we are having for him, or the sources of his incomes, or the comfort levels that comes under the next point. Now, how do we get the income of a country? The income of a country is the total income of all the individuals of that particular country is called the income of that particular one. And if we take the average, you get the per capita income, means per head, what is the income of the people of that particular nation, you get the per capita income. Basing on the per capita income, we can assess that whether a country is developed or not developed. According to the World Bank, we can compare it. See here, the comparison can be done between any two countries, provided the statistics by the World Bank. That World Bank in 2012 has given us the criteria that any country whose income is greater than $12,600 US in the year 2012, that country's per capita income should be greater than $12,600 US. Then it is considered as a developed nation, and the people are in that region will be considered as they are rich people or like blessed people. When it comes to the income of the low countries or lesser developed countries, their income is divided or less than or equal to $1,035 US in 2012. So this we can come to the conclusion that the per capita income could be an important resource or an analysis point where we can assess that whether a country is developed or not developed. Let us deal it with two examples of two countries like section A and section B. As we have seen the different criteria of assessing the ideals, income and goals, let us take an example of two countries whether they are developed or not developed countries. Now let us take example here, let A be one nation and B be one nation, and these five are the individuals in both the countries. For example, X, Y, Z, alpha and beta. X in a country A, he gets 5,000, alpha, Y gets 6,000, Z gets 7,000, alpha gets 8,000 and beta gets 9,000. It is a random income, but it is an equal opportunity provided for everyone in the category of A or a country of A option. When it comes to option B or the country B, you have an option here like they are getting very less income. Few individuals are getting very less income. There one individual like beta is getting higher income. Like this country on an average it's having per capita income more, but at the same time there is no equal distribution here. There is no equality principle here. But even though this country is having less per capita income, here we have the concept of equality here. So when we are assessing any country to its development, if we take only the per capita income, will it be sufficient for us to assess that country is a well developed country, or whether all the goals which are behind the income are addressed properly or not? We have seen here in A we have equality, but the per capita income is less. When it comes to B, we don't have equality, which means that we don't have respect, we don't have mutual concern and everything, but the per capita income is more. So this clears that there are many issues which has to be addressed before coming into the criteria whether that country is developed or not developed. Not only basing on the per capita income, we have to discuss about the other issues also. We have seen the different countries assessing the criteria for that. So in the previous example we have discussed about country A and country B, what is the criteria of assessing whether a country is developed or not. World Bank has given the statistics of per capita income. Now let us see one example of our states in our country. See, for example, the income of Punjab is per capita income is 78,000 and the per capita income of Haryana, Himachal Pradesh is 74,000. When it comes to Bihar, it is 25,000. So as per the calculations of World Bank, we can simply judge it that Punjab stands at the first place when compared to Himachal Pradesh or Bihar, or when compared to any other state in our country. Now let us take the other criteria to assess it. As I told you, the infant mortality rate in Punjab is 42. When it comes to Himachal Pradesh, it is 36. When it comes to Bihar, it is 62. So here we have to understand the criteria that a country which is state which is well developed and which is having the highest per capita income, why the children of age less than 5 years, that is the infant mortality rate, is very here. Like in Bihar we have very high, but it comes to here it is very less. So here they are able to provide better hospitals for them. At the same time, when we see from Punjab, it is better in Himachal Pradesh. So in Himachal Pradesh you have only 36 children dying out of every 1000 people. So how do you get that criteria? So here it is the highest income country state, but when compared to Himachal Pradesh. So the Himachal Pradesh is addressing the issue very clearly, provided the better hospital facilities for them to make sure that all the citizens are getting a better care for them. This is the reason why Himachal Pradesh, the infant mortality rate is very less when compared to Punjab. At the same time in Bihar, as the income is less, so the facilities also may be less. This is the reason why the infant mortality rate is high in Bihar. Now coming to the literacy rate. So as per general expectations, where a country is having highest income, generally we have the literacy rate also high. But when it is in Punjab, it is only 77%. But when it comes to Himachal Pradesh, it is 84%. It is nearly 7% more than this. And in Bihar, it is nearly 64. It is lowest as per its per capita income. In this case of Himachal Pradesh, how do you expect here literacy rate is higher than the most or like highest per capita income region? Here again the issue here is the Himachal Pradesh government has concentrated on the citizens, provided well facilitated schools, hospitals, the public distribution system. See here, schools, hospitals and public distribution system, and made ensure that everybody is better equipped with that. And coming to the attendance ratio of the students attending the school with the less than 15 years, it is in Punjab it is only 76, but in Himachal Pradesh it is 90 and Bihar it is 56. Again it is clear that only if we have the money, see here, money can't fetch you everything. See, the thing is that when the society needs, automatically thing will be done. For example, if you want to study in a school and where you are staying in a village and nobody else is interested to study in any school and they are ready to send their children to workplace or some other things, you can't expect that a school to be established without nobody's purpose. Especially for a particular individual, they don't establish a school. It is a society or the situation or the environment which provides the circumstances to establish something. We need a hospital to everybody. For a particular individual, we don't establish anything. For example, if you are going to any private school where it is far away from your village and your parents are ready to spend some amount on that, then it could be a possibility. But on an overall development of a society, it is compulsory to be addressed that the situation and the environment has to be done. Then only you get the facilities provided for us. Only if you own a money, you can't fetch your better facilities. You have to be in that kind of environment where the society is motivated towards that kind of situations, then only you get the things. So we have seen the issues like only the per capita income does not provide clarity for us on the various issues of a country to be developed or not developed. So the scientists, the activists have come forward with a new aspect, that is Human Development Index, that is HDI, known as Human Development Index. The only per capita income does not provide clarity for us on any issue of a particular nation. Yeah, it provides the income of a particular individuals or the group of nations or the average income of a country, but it does not provide complete information about the things. The other aspects which have to be dealt is the life expectancy. How many years a child is predicted to be after he is born, to be alive or can be taken care in that particular nation. Like for 65 years is the average expected age ratio of Indians. Like 70 years or 8 years, what is the life expectancy of a particular nation? Next point is, what is the average years of schooling? Like, will he go for 5 years for school or 10 years or 15 years? What is the average years? Like when he is going to join into the school, so like 3.5 years or 4 years, what is the average? So when he is going to learn something, what is the age criteria for a student or a child to learn starting his learning career? These all things will be taken. Then last comes the per capita income. We are not neglecting the per capita income. We consider the per capita income also along with the other criteria here, life expectancy, average years, the infant mortality rate, the literacy rate, everything should be addressed. Then only we can come to a conclusion that whether a country is developed or not developed. This we can be quoted in a simple words that prefixing that human development is nothing but human to development. It is very clear statement, understand it clearly. It is prefixing human to development. It means that all the things or issues or the development of the individual or a person in a society is the development of the nation. Like all the people have to be addressed, their health should be taken care, their education facilities should be taken care, then only that country can reach to its excellence, provided all the individuals are with the facilities of education, health and care. So it is nothing but human to development. Human development is nothing but every individual developing in the nation, which leads automatically for the development of the nation. So prefixing the statement is human to development is nothing but human development. We are looking in the perspective of every individual to development. Then we get, as we defined, that a country is developed only when the income of all the people are in high, we get the average income is high. So every individual is healthy and fit and fine, automatically the nation will be fit and fine, it can do wonders. So human development is one of the best criteria to assess whether a country is developed or not developed. We shall discuss an example of Himachal Pradesh next. Now let us see an example of Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, the actual location, geographically the Himachal Pradesh is having many obstacles. Like see here, it is a hilly region covered with many hilly regions, no proper transport facilities for them, and completely the rural place. It is having rural areas covered. Even then, how did Himachal Pradesh people attain the highest literacy rate in our state? Like when compared to Punjab, even though it is having the highest per capita income, they have worked out on it and gradually they got the development. It is not achieved in just one day or 2 days. It is a process of achievement. They have planned effectively, they have distributed their funds, they have invested that one, and they got the effective results of it. Let us see the case study example clearly here. In 2000, like when these are the situations, the government have come up with a step that they are going to establish schools which are going to cost nominal fees or very less fees for the parents. That is the first strand what they have taken. The next one is the schools to be established in every nearby places of the village headquarters, village regions and everywhere. And in the schools they have provided the facilities like good teachers or teachers who are very enthusiastic. We have toilet facilities where we don't have, many of the schools don't have public toilet facilities for girls and boys separately. They have made sure that they have separate toilets for them, and safe drinking water is provided for them. It has done from 1990s. In the process of 1994-96, then it comes to 2005. It reached to the apex of its that in 2005, when the case study was done in Himachal Pradesh to an average Indian citizen or a child, Indian government on an average in all the other states are spending 1049 rupees on every child for his education, whereas only Himachal Pradesh is spending 2005 rupees per child. So it is the highest one. So it needs some money to be invested. They invested properly with that one. Because of that, they got lot of changes in the society which are very much important for us. If we address them, we get the idea that the average schooling has come up to 10 years in the average schooling of Himachal Pradesh region, and they got the lower gender bias. This is a very crucial development what Himachal Pradesh has achieved in this 10 years period. The meaning of the word gender bias is the differentiation between girls and boys, which is a very high in the northern states where we don't have a equal respect for the girls. But most of the state people in Himachal Pradesh region have equal respect for boys and girls. Even girls dream of becoming a scientist, doctors, IAS officers and all the higher posts, and mothers train them to have their dream and wish, because most of the women in the Himachal Pradesh region are well educated and outside employed. They do their professions as well as they manage their personal lives also. And the other important achievement what the Himachal government has achieved is the child mortality rate, which is like it's a different trend which is going on in other places when compared to India. See here, in India generally we have a hatred of a girl child, we have a killing of a girl child, like female infanticide is high in Indian society because of various reasons. But here we have the child of boys of lack of care are dying more when compared to girls. They take care for both equally, but the percentage of boys are dying more when compared to girls, means they don't have any discrimination between a boy child and a girl child. They have equal bias. Only the statistics show that the boys are dying more here. And women employed outside, like most of the women are educated, so they prefer to go job, do work outside. They have their mutual respect for their personal life and the professional life, and they do it and they educate their children personally, professionally and everything. So they train them very well. Because of this, in Himachal Pradesh region we have the active Mahila Mandals, which are very active social groups. They participate in even in the village politics, village social activists, and provide for us. So development, simply we can't say it is just only spending money on any issue or any other things, but it is a mix of all the goals. See here, development is a mix of all the goals. Here we have seen they have provided the investment for schools. They did not invest anything for developing the gender bias or for women employment or to control the child mortality rate. It is the thing that what they have provided is the grassroots level, the education they have given for them, which brought them the understanding of the society, the natural things, what is natural, what is right, what is wrong, which made them to get a clear idea like what is to be done, what should not be done, what is to be addressed, how it should to be addressed. So here we got the low gender bias, the average schooling has made them conscious of schooling. Then the child mortality rate has reduced the female infanticide. Women employed has respected, like women those who are employed will get respect in society as well as when they are in family also. They can have their rights, they can have their choices whether they should go for job or not. They'll have their own income, their own sources of generation of the incomes, and they can plan future for their children, and even they have their word to say whether it should be done or not. So like this, if you plan properly and execute it, and not only the investment, it should be done in wisely. Yes, you need to divide the investment what you are going to do. Initially you may not get the results, but in the longer span of time you may get the better results, and which leads to the development of the nation. Development is not just only in a place where you invest it. You get the investment developed in one particular region, you can see the fruits of it developing in all the other regions. So development is nothing but a mixture of all goals. We have to remember one point here when we are saying the word development. Whose development is important here? When we are concentrating on development of the children here, so we have to concentrate on children, like how to bring the development here. As we have discussed in the starting point of the lesson, that the development of any individual or a particular group may be differing. Like higher group is having their own development stands and the lower group is having their own different people. So it is different for different people. So whose development is the important criteria here, and development is not a single agenda, it is a mixture of all the goals.